40 people watching. Wine glasses frozen midair. My wife's finger pointed at the door like I was a dog who'd pissed on the carpet. Apologize to Derek. Now. Or get out of my apartment. Her apartment. The one I'd been paying the mortgage on for 6 years. I stood up. Walked over to her brother. Everyone leaned in, expecting me to grovel, probably. Instead, I said, ask your sister who's been signing the checks. The room went silent. I grabbed my coat and left. I didn't know those 9 words would unravel 3 marriages by Christmas. The party was Rachel's idea. Just family, she'd said. Low-key. 43 people showed up. Her parents. Her 3 brothers and their wives. Cousins I'd met twice. Her college roommate who sold essential oils. I'd worked a double shift that morning. Came home at noon to find her crying in the kitchen because the caterer canceled. Can you pick up the sandwich trays? Please? I'm drowning here. I drove to 3 different grocery stores. Spent $200. Arranged everything on the plates she'd bought specifically for this. She kissed my cheek when I finished. You're a lifesaver. 4 hours later, her brother Derek cornered me by the drink table. So when are you gonna get a real job? I'm a paramedic. Been one for 8 years. I have a real job, I said. I mean something with a future. Rachel deserves better than, he waved his hand at me. This. Derek sells insurance. Makes decent money. Talks about it constantly. She seems happy, I said. Does she? He looked at Rachel across the room, laughing with her sister-in-law. Because Mom said she's been stressed. Money's tight, apparently. Money wasn't tight. We had savings. I'd just paid off her student loans 3 months ago, $26,000. She'd cried happy tears, said it changed everything. I never mentioned it to her family. She asked me not to. They'll make it weird, she'd said. We're fine, I told Derek. If you say so. He grabbed a beer I'd bought. Just seems like you could do more, you know? Pull your weight. I excused myself. Went to the bathroom. Stared at my reflection. 12-hour shifts lifting patients. CPR on a 90-year-old woman last week while her daughter screamed. A suicide call on Tuesday that I'd still see when I closed my eyes. But sure. Not a real job. When I came back out, Derek's wife Michelle was crying in the hallway. Rachel had her arm around her. He's been texting someone, Michelle whispered. I saw the name. Brooklyn. That's probably work, Rachel said. At 11 p.m.? On a Saturday? I slipped past them. Grabbed a sandwich I'd assembled 5 hours ago. Rachel's mom appeared beside me. You look tired, sweetie. Long shift. You're always working. She patted my hand. Rachel needs you here more. Present, you know? I'd requested tonight off 6 weeks in advance. Traded shifts with 2 different people to make it happen. I'm here now, I said. Physically. She smiled that smile. The one that looked kind but landed sharp. It's the emotional presence that matters. I nodded. Took a bite of turkey and Swiss. Derek's voice rose from the living room. I'm just saying, some people contribute. Others just coast. Rachel laughed. Derek, stop. I'm serious. Look at Jordan. Guy works maybe 3 days a week. For 12-hour shifts, I said quietly. Nobody heard me. And Rachel's covering everything. The mortgage, the utilities, everything. That was when I should have said something. Should have walked in there and corrected the record. Instead, I stood in the kitchen. Watched Rachel's face. She didn't correct him either. Just sipped her wine and changed the subject. I set my plate down. Went to the bedroom. Sat on the edge of the bed we'd picked out together, that I'd paid for in full because she was saving for her MBA. Through the door, the party continued. Laughter. Music. Derek's voice, loud and confident, explaining something about market volatility. I pulled out my phone. Opened our joint bank account. Scrolled through 6 years of deposits. Every single mortgage payment. My name. My account. Auto transfer on the 1st of every month. I sat there for 20 minutes. When I came back out, nobody noticed I'd been gone. The apartment thing started small. Year 1, she called it our place. Year 2, the apartment. By year 4, it was my apartment when her friends came over. Welcome to my place, she'd say at the door, arms spread wide. I'd be in the kitchen. The kitchen where I'd installed the backsplash she wanted. Painted the cabinets twice because the first gray wasn't quite right. Her parents visited last Thanksgiving. Her dad asked about the building. Rachel found a great deal, her mom said. Such a good investor. I was carving the turkey I'd brined for 2 days. Jordan helped, Rachel said. Helped. I'd paid the down payment. $17,000 from an inheritance when my grandfather died. She'd been unemployed, between jobs, figuring things out. We'll pay you back when I start working, she'd promised. She got hired 5 months later. Never mentioned the money again. Christmas, her brother Marcus brought his new girlfriend. They got the apartment tour. Rachel bought this place herself, Marcus told her. Before she even met Jordan. Smart investment. I was standing right there. Holding their coats. Rachel squeezed my arm. Well, mostly me. Mostly. Her sister's wedding last June. Open bar. Her whole family clustered at a table. Rachel's doing so well, her aunt said. Property owner at 32. She's always been driven, her mom agreed. I was getting drinks. Heard every word. When I came back, Rachel was showing someone photos on her phone. This is my living room. I just redid the whole thing. The couch I'd saved for. The rug we'd picked together at HomeGoods on a Sunday morning, arguing about whether gray or beige was more versatile. Her living room. I started noticing things. How she'd introduce me at her work events, this is Jordan. Not my husband. Just Jordan. Like I was a +1 she'd brought along. How she'd pay for dinner with friends and say, I got it, then Venmo request me for half later. How her mom would ask her, never me, about the mortgage payment and property taxes. I kept a mental list. Didn't write it down. Didn't need to. The week before the party, her brother's wife filed for divorce. Michelle found the texts. Brooklyn wasn't a coworker. Rachel talked about it constantly. Men are trash. Seriously. How could Derek do that? I was doing laundry. Her laundry. Because she'd asked me to throw in a quick load 3 days ago and I'd been doing it ever since. Not all men, I said quietly. She didn't hear me. The party was her idea of support. Rallying around Michelle. Showing Derek they had her back. Funny how that works. 2 weeks after Michelle left him, Derek needed money. Rachel told me at breakfast. He's struggling with the divorce. Lawyer fees, new apartment, everything. I poured my coffee. Said nothing. I told him we could help. Help how? Loan him $10,000. Just temporarily. He'll pay us back. Us. We. Our money. Except she hadn't contributed to savings in 8 months. MBA expenses, she'd said. I can't do that, I said. Her fork stopped midair. Can't or won't? Both. He's my brother, Jordan. I know. He needs help. So did I. Last year. When my mom needed surgery. Rachel blinked. That's different. How? She had insurance. That covered 60%. I asked your family for help with the rest. Remember what your dad said? She looked away. Money between family gets complicated. Right. This isn't the same. It's exactly the same. She stood up. Grabbed her plate. I can't believe you're being like this. Like what? Selfish. I took a breath. I'm not loaning Derek $10,000. Fine. She dumped her food in the sink. I'll figure it out myself. She didn't talk to me for 3 days. Then the party happened. When Derek made that comment about me coasting, about Rachel covering everything, she knew it was a lie. She'd seen me pay for everything. Watched me hand over my inheritance. Saw the bank statements. She could have corrected him. Instead, she let me stand there. Holding a sandwich I'd bought. At a party I'd funded. In an apartment I'd paid for. When she pointed at the door and told me to apologize or leave, something inside me just stopped. Not broke. Not snapped. Just stopped. I walked over to Derek. Everyone watching. Waiting for me to bend. Ask your sister who's been signing the checks. I left. Behind me, I heard her voice. Jordan, wait. I didn't. I stayed at a motel that night. The kind with weekly rates and a vending machine that only took exact change. Rachel called 16 times. I turned off my phone. In the morning, I called a lawyer. Turned out, the apartment was in both our names. Had been since year 2, when we refinanced. She'd just stopped saying ours out loud. But every mortgage payment? My account. 6 years of automatic transfers. Documentation for everything. The lawyer smiled. This is straightforward. Rachel showed up at the station 3 days later. Found me between shifts. We need to talk. We can do that through lawyers. Jordan, come on. Don't be dramatic. Dramatic. I'd left one party. Your family thinks I'm a deadbeat, I said. You let them. I didn't, I never said. You didn't correct them. 6 years, Rachel. You let them think you carried me. Her eyes filled. I didn't mean for it to go that far. But it did. What do you want? An apology? Fine. I'm sorry. I looked at her. This person I'd shared a bed with. Paid bills with. Built a life with. I want the truth, I said. Did you ever tell them I paid for everything? Silence. That's what I thought. The divorce took 4 months. I got half the apartment equity. Moved 2 hours north. Smaller place. Quieter. Derek's wife took him for everything in their divorce. Brooklyn had been married too, her husband found out. 3 marriages. Done. I heard Rachel's having trouble with the mortgage now. Her mom called me once, asking if I'd help her out. I didn't laugh. Didn't gloat. Just said, no, thank you, and hung up. Some nights I think about that party. 43 people. All that food. Rachel's face when I walked out. I don't miss her. I miss who I thought she was. There's a difference.